Welcome to this episode of the Product Biz Podcast. My name is Monica Little, and I'm here today with a very special guest, Whitney from Cleansed, who is one of my amazing Product Biz Academy members that had an incredible year in 2024 and was actually voted the 2024 Breakthrough of the Year Award winner, which is a really fun little contest we do in PBA where members can share their testimony, their transformation, their experience, how they've grown. And Whitney's story just impacted so many people that she was voted our winner. And it was tough competition. Everyone had done so well. But we're here today for you to get to know Whitney, her business, her products, her story, her journey, really to get an inside look of what it takes to grow your business and have a successful business. So welcome, Whitney, to the show.
Thank you so much, Monica. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's always good chatting with you. And I know you're going to have so much just great insights and story to tell people of everything that shifted for you in 2024. And before we get there, I want you to just share with us a little bit about you. So tell us about your business, what you make, how long you've been in business, how your business got started. We'll start there.
Okay, so Clint's really kind of started just to serve my family. So really no intention of starting it as a business. My daughters both have extremely sensitive skin. My youngest daughter at the time was suffering from severe food allergies that wasn't just ingesting the food, it was also just topically. So I was going through all of these different, clean, safe baby products, and nothing was working. In fact, it was all getting worse. So I set out to figure out how I could help her as well as my oldest daughter, and really just started researching how to formulate soap. And I started with making soap for her and my oldest daughter, and gave them as Christmas gifts one year, and people wanted more. And my husband really encouraged me. He was like, I think you have a small business on your hands because you can't keep giving this away. He was like, I think we need to do something with this. So we signed up for our first in-person market. I guess it was spring of 2022, and had incredible feedback from that. And Cleansed was born from there.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Such a beautiful story. And I know you've told me too that when we think about like how challenging it was for you to find products for your daughter, you were literally at one point just using water on her
Water.
skin because her skin was
Water.
so sensitive, right?
Yeah, it was like, if you can imagine the most sensitive skin your skin has ever felt personally, and then you just like multiply that. Like a baby wipe would touch her skin and blisters. So
Wow.
soap was a disaster. So yeah, we actually got down to just water, and specifically non-chlorinated water. We had to have all the chlorine
Mm.
pulled out of our house with a filtration system because she couldn't even tolerate just what's in our own drinking water.
hmm And at that time, were you also trying other small business soaps too? Because it sounds like you tried the clean, quote unquote, clean products, big, big brand businesses.
Yeah.
That didn't work. Were you also trying other small business soaps and things weren't even working in that
I
way
had
too?
tried a few. The almond oil was the kicker for her. She, at the time had a really severe, almond allergy. So even the almond oil topically in the products were blistering her skin. It's very common in, handmade soap.
Mhm.
It's great for your skin, just not if you have an almond allergy. And then my oldest daughter was just really getting into skincare at the time. She was like wanting to try face mask and charcoal soaps, and we used a face mask on her one night, and literally, and it was like the cleanest, like blistered her face.
Wow.
So they both have such sensitive skin. So being able to create these products was just such a relief that, like, that was one piece I didn't have to think about for them, knowing they had great skincare options that were actually going to make their skin better.
Yeah, I love it. And now it's something that not only is this soap for kids, but it's also like for the family. Is that how you really position it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so we love to say that cleanse is, safe and effective for everyone in your family.
Yeah. And tell us about some of the other products you make. So tell us about the soap, the charcoal soap, the face mask, the bath tea, and give us the spiel.
Yeah, so like each product was kind of like inspired by a need that we had or a desire to find a clean product. So we started with soap and we really wanted super clean ingredients, like no fragrance oils. So that really sets us apart. There's a lot of natural soaps, but they still use the fragrance oils, which for us, our girls could not tolerate even those fragrance oils. So we started with that. And then my oldest daughter was like, I really want a face mask. She was like 12 at the time. And so she wanted face mask and charcoal soap, but all of them were breaking her out. So then we kind of started working on that. Then we make body butters, which my oldest daughter's hands used to crack and bleed every winter because they were so dry. So the body butter was really inspired by her. And so we carry that and body oils, but it's kind of like a head to toe skincare line, which is great.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the soap.
Thanks.
I know I mentioned this to you, but when you had your winter collection, I'm like, okay, I think I bought like 12 bars of soap. I'm using the cinnamon one right now. What's that one called?
Cinnamon and spice.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I love it. I'm like year round. I don't care if it's not Christmas time. Like I will
Yeah.
use that year round. And I love the body butter too because yours is very unique that it's not greasy. And I know
Yes.
a lot of body butters claim that, but yours is truly not greasy. Like it nourishes, but it like it's the same. It's I don't know how to put it into words, but it's like the same feel as your skin. It's not like
Yeah,
another
it just
layer, but it's
melts into your skin. Like I
yeah.
feel like that's the best way to describe it. And my daughter was not going to keep anything on her hands that was nasty, tacky, and greasy. So I knew like formulating that, I had to be very specific in that texture for her. So that is like the favorite product of everybody. Like it's really not greasy. I'm like, no, it's really not.
Yeah, that's fabulous. I love it. Okay, so now let's talk about your business journey. So you said you did your first market in 2022. Now talk to me because you joined PBA in January of 2024, right? Ish,
Yes, yeah.
January-ish. So talk to me what happened in 2022, 2023. What were you really focusing on in your business during that time?
Just markets. I didn't have a website at the time. I was only doing mostly just local markets. If people wanted to purchase, I did start an Instagram account so people could, message me through that. But it was just a very slow journey of just a few little markets and really kind of trying to figure out how to grow a business because previously a teacher and then stay-at-home mom, then business owner. I had no, professional training on how to start and grow a business. So it was very slow in putting all these tiny little pieces together.
Yeah, what were you focusing on during that time? So were you like Google research? Were you
A
small
lot
business
of Google.
communities? What were you doing?
A lot of Google. I would literally Google every question. I did reach out to our small business department. So they were a great resource. Getting like the logistics and the legal, all of that. They were wonderful and so kind and helpful. But then it was just kind of like I was on my own. I didn't really know what to do. So it was just kind of like, really digging in and researching and then just kind of trusting my instinct on this is kind of how I feel like that it should go. But really spending a lot of time on tiny little things that just, it was a long process.
Mhm. And what were you struggling with the most? Like when you think about why you joined PBA and the couple months before it, what were you hitting your head against or where were you struggling?
I was really struggling with just confidence, really. Like that was kind of like my breakthrough video. The whole thing was about confidence, but just like really confidence in my business, confidence in running it, and then social media. You and I have talked about this 100 times. Zero social media experience. So it just all felt so overwhelming and so daunting to like, I didn't jump on the social media bandwagon for personal use. So then trying to figure out how to like do this for a business. I was just so overwhelmed in
Hmm.
general with website, social media, confidence that. when I saw your ad on Instagram, I was like, this is what I need. This is perfect.
I love it. Okay, now let me ask you one question before we dive into like what has shifted since you joined.
Okay.
Did you also have your own website back then?
So I started my website in November of it's so ironic. So November 2023, I put together my own website and then we relaunched November of 2024. So
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So November 2023, were you getting any traction on it? Was it kind of like crickets? What was happening?
That was like right before like the big holiday season. So a lot of local customers had ordered through markets the previous year and they were already asking how to reorder. And I was messaging people on social media like DMs back and forth through the night, like, can you add another of this? And I need more of it. And I was like, I cannot do this. So I just put together a really fast Shopify website and launched it. It was like, if you want Christmas orders, like this is the only option for you. I can't keep
Mhm.
going back and forth. So it got a lot of traction, but just because of people, who had already purchased in the past and they knew now where to go.
Yeah, I love it because really, to summarize, it sounds like you built a good local community. You were doing
Yeah.
markets. You had customers who loved your product, loved your story, loved your mission, wanted to buy more. And
Yeah.
then is it safe to say maybe it was more of struggling, like, okay, how do I get in front of more people?
Yes. So I knew I wanted to start locally and really build those relationships locally. But I just wasn't sure like what to do after that because I'm so confident in the products. I'm so passionate about just clean living and clean products and I want to share it with other people around the country, around the world. I was just lost of like, what does that mean? What do I do next?
Yeah. Well, tell me, since you've joined PBA, what has your journey been like last year in 2024? Because you joined, you went through the PBA rebrand process, had some shifts in your branding, had some shifts in your labels, did a relaunch, professional photos. I mean, you went all in on
Did.
elevating and updating your business. So talk us first about that, like the rebrand process.
That was the most exciting process. Also, I just wasn't really sure. Like you and I had talked so many times, like it was like branding wasn't in a terrible spot, but I
Yeah.
knew it could be elevated. Like it was all like work I had done. I did have like a precious friend do my logo, but everything else I designed myself. So when we were talking like this rebrand possibility, I was like, I'm not sure, but then just became so intrigued with like what the process was looking like and what Jamie had put together that I just knew I needed to go all in. Like at first, I was like, let's just tweak it a little bit. And then I was like, no, let's just change all of it. So I'm so thankful that I went through that whole rebrand process because I really feel like that's set us apart in a whole nother level that I couldn't have done on my own.
Yeah, and I agree with you completely. Like your brand was good. When you joined PBA, I was like, yeah, your brand is great. And I know we had conversations of do you want the rebrand bonus or the photo shoot? And I'm like, that's totally up to you because
Yeah.
there are some people where it's like I can tell the brand is very DIY and it's like, yeah, let's scrap it, let's do it.
Yeah.
But I love how you were like, cool, let's see what it can turn into,
Yeah.
let's see what it can be. And it really was this shift of just more confidence in your actual branding, more confidence in your business, and like the slight up level of like, okay, cool, this is just a bit better, a bit more cohesive. And it really brought that just the feel of cleansed front and center, right?
Yes, it really had the feel that like I was looking for the whole time. I was just so afraid of color. I'm just not really like my house is really neutral and white and bright and I just wasn't sure about color. And Jamie put together the most beautiful color palette and I literally asked her, I was like, Jamie, where did you come up with these amazing colors? And she's like, Whitney, from your soap. I never thought like, duh.
Oh my gosh, I love
Like it
that.
was all right
Aw.
in front of me. I just
Mhm.
needed a professional to like show me.
Mhm. And then after you got the brand, it was next step was updating your labels, bringing in the new branding. And you and I spent a lot of time on like the details on the label, the finer details, which a lot of
Yes.
people breeze past because it is super tedious. But getting your labels in tip-top shape so that when they're on a store shelf or online with the photos, people know exactly what it is, what it does, the benefits, why it's unique. So a lot of
Yeah.
time spent there, and then you got your professional photos done too, which I think just was the bow on top of
I mean,
everything.
it was literally like the best experience to like see these products that I had worked so hard on that we had like tweaked all of these little things. And like, I loved being so involved with the rebrand process. Like, I'm sure I probably drove people crazy because I was like a little more of this and a little less of this. But like, I just loved that process and just really getting all like, I was going to do it right the first time. Like, I'm not going to go back and like regret, like, I didn't do this or I should have done that. I wanted like that year to just be like, I'm all in and we're going to get all these details. And then when you see them photographed, it's like mind blowing that, like, I don't know, it's different on your bathroom counter. And then when you see it in a photograph professionally, it's just incredible to see what they look like.
And then talk us through the official launch of Cleansed with all these updates. How did that go?
That was so exciting because I really didn't share a lot of the behind the scenes. Like I started giving like little bits of pieces, like we're working on this. And so many people were messaging me like, what do you mean? Like you're getting like your stuff was so pretty. Like I can't imagine like what you're gonna do with it. I'm like, just wait. And so just being able to like share that, like we did a big email campaign, lots of social media. We did some Instagram lives and it was just so exciting to see the response. Like people were truly like just blown away with
Mhm.
the elevated look, the labels. So many people are like, they're not gonna wash away. Like my favorite scent, I'm gonna know what this scent is because it's not gonna wash away.
Yeah.
So like just those little, like little tiny pieces just all came together so beautifully. And when I was able to like hit that publish button on the website, that was just the most exciting experience. Like all the hard work and like all the built up excitement, like then I could share it with everybody else. So it was such a fun experience.
And how were your sales that week when you officially launched?
Incredible. Like I was just like, are people going to just look around and just like, share excitement? Are people really going to purchase? And we did over $1,500 that week in sales. So it was a huge, and this was before like really like Christmas shopping and holiday rush had really even started. So
Mhm.
it was incredible to see like people loved it and were so excited to get this new look.
And tell us back then, how many followers on Instagram did you have roughly?
I think at that point I was right under 400.
Yeah, so that is a ton of really great context too.
Yeah.
Because $1,500 in sales, online sales when you launch is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then when you add in another layer of context, so 400 followers.
Yeah.
And that shows how connected you are with your followers and how much this brand really resonated with them that it's like, okay, cool. If you got that happening with 400 followers, let's get you up. Let's get that
Yes.
follower number higher because then it's just going to be coming in so much easier when you have the right people truly connecting with your brand.
Yeah. Yeah. I was totally blown away. Just the response, and it was just incredible.
Yeah. Now I want to talk a little bit more about social media because you
Okay.
kind of alluded that you didn't have a personal social media and you had one because people kept asking at markets like, where can I get a hold of you or buy more, etc. So tell us about how you were posting on social media before PBA and the transition to how you show up on social media now.
So, very timidly posting on social media and just like little pictures here and there of product and just not consistent and just really unsure of what do I say? Like, how do I really market this so people can really understand, where Clint is coming from and how I want to really serve others in this area? And I just was really unsure of it. So it really became like paralysis. Like I was just like, okay, maybe like once every 2 weeks I'll put something out there. And then it felt weird because I would go a couple weeks and I'm like, ooh, do I put something out there now? Then I'm like, oh, it's been too
Mhm.
long. Like it feels even more awkward. So just really uncomfortable and unsure of what to post, what to say. I didn't show my face.
Not at all.
Not at
Not at
all.
all.
So just a totally different mindset before I was able to like get that confidence because it was all over the place.
And I'm gonna tell my favorite story that I know you heard.
Okay.
Okay, Whitney, we had one of our first one-on-one calls or conversations, I don't know, after she joined PBA. And we're like, okay, Whitney, I know you don't have a personal, social media page, and social media can feel a little bit weird, but let's start to get your face out there. And Whitney was like, okay, I'll do it. And I said, okay, let's get a picture of you. Let's put it on social media, the face behind the business, because her social media page before then was beautiful photos and they were all beautiful photos of soap. So it was like there was you could not know who the person behind the business
No.
was. And I was like, okay, Whitney, give me a date and time when you're going to post this, and then let me know when you actually do it. So I remember seeing the post, and she did it. Whitney
I
did it.
did
She
it.
did it, but it was a
And
graphic
on time, I
on
did it.
time. Yes, we'll give you that. And I didn't specify, so I was like, okay, she technically did it, but it was this graphic with a tiny picture of Whitney in like the top right-hand corner, and I was just dying laughing, because that was truly a testament, I think, of where you started with like it
Yeah.
was hard, and it is hard to continue,
Hard.
to first show up. But now, tell me how far you've come. Like, what are you doing on social media nowadays?
Now, like I can talk in my stories. Like I remember just like going from that post and then be like, okay, now I've got to like the sell method. I was like, okay, I'm going to start with that. I'm going to get more comfortable in my stories and work through that. Then I was able to like do Instagram lives and then lives with other members of PBA, which has been so fun. But then like when we did our relaunch, I did an Instagram live just by myself talking through like the before and afters of the products and the website and just being able to have the confidence that I can show my face, not just this teeny tiny little picture, but I can talk in stories and I can talk in alive and on reels. And it has just been such a huge shift of mindset that I want to serve other moms and other families in this area. So I have to be able to show up to do that. So getting rid of that just like insecurity and lack of confidence and being now excited to serve others in this capacity and have the confidence to show up to do that. It's just been literally night and day, as you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. And I will have to say, every single person listening needs to go follow Whitney on Instagram at Cleansed Pure and Simple to see what we're talking about, because she is like just the most natural person on social media. You would never guess that a
So
year
sweet.
ago she was like hiding, not wanting to show her face with this little itty bitty photo of herself, because she's doing live, she's doing reels, she's doing stories. And I think that's truly a testament of so, so, so much of your growth that makes me so happy to see. So talk to me, like what helped you build that confidence, or what led you? Because some people are going to be like, I'm at where Whitney was a year ago. How did
Yeah.
Whitney get here? So what really shifted for you?
The shift was really like putting in the investment into PBA. That was the start because I knew where I wanted to be and where I wanted to go. I just wasn't sure how to get there and didn't have the confidence to believe in myself. So I needed you, Monica, so incredible and encouraging, and all of the other members to just like help with that. But then it was just like I had. I have this great product that I'm sitting on and I'm not sharing about it. So, changing that mentality of just a service heart for others and wanting to do everything possible to be able to share this with the mom that's struggling with her own skincare or her children's skincare, or someone with extremely sensitive skin that is just desperate and has tried everything. Being able to change how I think about it and not just like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I'm nervous, and I'm timid, versus like I'm coming at this to serve others
Mhm.
and am so joyful and excited to do that and putting in the work. Like I hit the ground running January 2024 and I was like, whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to go do it. And just being able to really work through just being consistent in the modules and in the coaching calls, and if there was something presented to us, then I was going to go do it. Like I really wanted to like build this brand. Like my goal last year was to be where I was in December of 2024, and the hard work had to go with that. So all of those things together really, I think just being able to put all those pieces together.
hmm And when I look back at your story too, a couple things that really stick out to me, which are things that you've definitely said, but it's confidence in your actual business, like
Mhm.
confidence in the branding, the labels, the photo, step one. Then I think it's also confidence in yourself, and that comes I think actually after, let me say this for number two, which is selling as a service. So
Yeah.
confidence in your business, selling as a service, which is something we talk about so much in PBA. It's like, cool, I get social media is scary, but it's not about you, right? Like it's about
Right,
your
exactly.
people. It's about the problem that you're solving. And then three, I think what happens from those two is confidence in self. Like
Mhm.
that's just a natural byproduct. And
Yeah.
I remember you were telling me the story, which I would love for you to share, of how even in PBA, like you would be scared to ask a question or to like raise your hand. And now when you're on the calls, like you're talking, you're chatting. And also tell me more about the ripple effect, because you've told me how this increase in confidence has actually changed like your other relationships and how you show up outside of business. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, just I can remember like wanting to ask questions in those first few calls and just like my heart would race. And I was like, I can't ask a question. And I'm like, I have to ask a question. This is the whole point. Like, this is the purpose. And just having you constantly say, like, we're all here to grow together and you are here for us, just really helped me to feel like comfortable to ask the questions, even if they were like really silly questions. I was like, okay, if I don't ask, then I'm not going to know. And if I don't know, then I can't grow. So I had to get the information and was just being willing to like put myself out there to ask the questions. And then being able to just like when you would put us in those little breakout calls, at first I was like, oh my goodness, like, and I'm usually not like a really shy person, but can get very timid around people that I'm not familiar with. And so just having those little conversations has just really brought such beautiful relationships with some of the ladies in PBA that I truly feel like, even though we've never met in person, like truly feel a friendship personally and business wise. So just even those little pieces slowly started helping that confidence, come along. But the shift has been business, but personal, just having confidence to talk to other people about my business, because that was like where I would just like really shy away from when people are like, what do you do? I used to be a teacher and loved that career and then loved being able to stay home with my girls, but it was really uncomfortable when people were like, well, what do you do? And I was like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and my husband would be like, and what else do you do? And I'm like, I run a little small business. And he was like, encouraging me, like, Whitney, this is a big deal. Like, this is not just some little thing that you've put together. Like, this is a real brand and a real business. So having the confidence to like openly talk about it for just excitement, not just to like hope for sales, but just genuinely like heartfelt excitement of what this brand is and what it stands for. The shift with the confidence in that has just like it is, and it's opened up so many doors, Monica, to like have that confidence. It's just I just see it all the time opening up little like, opportunities. So I was really holding back in my business and personally. So being able to put all of these things together to be able to sit here on a podcast,
On a
like
podcast.
and talk to you and just like be able to do that social media and in person with other people.
Mhm.
It's really remarkable, honestly, to think of
Yeah.
where it was January of 2024.
Yeah, and you've been like an A+ student, and that's what I love to see. Seriously, is like someone who's dedicated and committed, and is like, I'm going to do what it takes, and it may be uncomfortable, and I may want to rip my hair out because we're looking at these labels for the 15th time,
Yeah.
and I just want to get them printed. And Monica's telling me again that we gotta review them. But I love that you like trust the process, and not only trusting the tactical stuff, but trusting like the exercises we do in the PBA calls, because a lot of what we do is more of confidence and what's holding us back and what are we scared of and what are our fears and are they credible fears or are they just kind of there to keep us small? So you've been
Yeah.
someone who no matter what I throw out there, you participate, you're active, and I think that truly is a testament for you putting in the effort to grow so much. Now, I want you to tell us the story that you've told me on the vein of like confidence and actually telling people, like, yeah, I'm a business owner, I have a business. The amazing story about what happened when you were on vacation towards the end of last year.
Okay. So we were on vacation and it always kind of happens. We meet somebody, another family, kids are playing together and conversations just start up. And it was another mom and the kids were in the pool and we were just talking and she stays home with her kids. She homeschools. So we had a lot of like commonality straight away. And then she just said, she talked about her sensitive skin and her kids' sensitive skin and like how she's just been like really looking for alternative products and is just like really just so frustrated that she hasn't found anything. And I just started talking to her about cleanse and I gave her our story of like the heart behind it and how we started and now we're able to like serve others. And she was genuinely so excited to hear about it. And she just kept asking more questions. And she said, do you mind to share your website? And I said, I would love to. We had actually closed the website for everything to be, relaunched. So I was like, if you can give me like a couple days, it'll be up and going. When we got back from vacation, I had launched the website, shared it with her. And she literally placed a $400 order. Like
Yeah.
she was so excited about these products. And now she continues to like buy her friends gift cards so they can experience the product. She's like, I don't want to just tell them about them because she's like, I truly believe in these products so much. I physically want them to purchase a product for themselves to try. How kind, how kind of someone to love a product that much that you're willing to purchase a $25 gift card for multiple friends for them to try. Like,
Hmm.
I was so humbled and so honored that a stranger in the pool loved these products so much. They were willing to spend their own money on them and for their friends, Monica, to try. She
Yeah.
did not have to do that. She could have just said, hey, I found these great products, but was willing to put like a financial investment for them to try them. Like,
Hmm.
truly blown away by that experience
Yeah.
of just having the confidence
Exactly.
to share and to genuinely share out of my love for others and how I truly have a heart to help people. I
Hmm.
didn't expect her to buy anything. I would never have been disappointed if she didn't buy anything, but she was just so excited and just had nothing but great things to say. And I would have never have done that a year ago, Monica. I would
Yeah.
never, never have been able to do that because I was just so worried about what people would think. And
Hmm.
what are they going to say? And what if they don't like the products? And what if they think I'm ridiculous? And what if they think this is silly? And having that shift of, you know what? If you do, that's fine because I'm not here for you, but I'm here for the people who desire clean products for themselves and for their family that nourishes their sensitive skin, that's not going to make it worse. Like, I'm here for those people, and I genuinely am so excited every day to serve those people.
Hmm.
So that was just an incredible story that I shared with you that would never have happened a year ago.
Yeah. And that story, I've heard it 3 times, but every time it makes me cry. We're both like teary-eyed over here. But it honestly makes me cry because I think that's a perfect example of how much you've grown. Like
Yeah.
such a perfect example of how you say that a year ago you maybe wouldn't have said that. Maybe you wouldn't have even brought up that you have a business. Maybe you would have said, I'm a stay-at-home mom and just avoided that part of the conversation. But now seeing you and just how much you radiant of like, I want to help people. And that is
Yeah.
what this is about. And having the confidence to be able to do that and the amazing ripple effect that happens from it that you were just sharing from the goodness of your heart. And now you have
Yeah.
a customer, a lifelong customer who loves your products just as much. So I
And a
think,
sweet friend, like we text, often, and our children are pen pals now, and
oh,
it was just like a beautiful relationship that just came out of confidence to be able to approach a stranger and just have a conversation, a genuine conversation. Like I
hmm
think that is the shift for me. Like I've always thought of like saying stuff about my business felt weird, but genuinely being able to share out of a service heart is just it's just a very big change of how I used to view sharing about my business.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, tell us really quickly, how was the rest of 2024 for you, holiday season? How has 2025 been? What's happening in the business?
2024 was truly incredible to be able to go from January to December and like I'm just blown away in so many areas. Like blown away by like I can't believe this happened. Like I love this trophy. Like it's sitting right here beside me.
Uh,
To be able to like be the breakthrough winner, like that was so exciting and just encouragement of like I was working on the right things and but just like that I was able to inspire others. Like that was just like to get some of the messages from people like just so incredible. I'm just so thankful that my story is able to help and encourage other women on this journey because that's truly my heart. So all of that is just incredible. And then the sales are icing on the cake. Like I told you this the last time. I would get rid of all the sales to keep the confidence and all of the growth. But this sales are just like an extra little treat that came along. And our quarter four was like our best quarter four. Our holiday sales were incredible from November to December. So many people literally like purchased all of their Christmas gifts from our gift sets. Like
wow.
that was incredible to hear. Just so honored that people wanted to do that and support a small business. So that was huge. Yeah, we ended the year great. Like I was just so I was really just so excited to like in December and then just like so excited to start 2025 because I'm like if that was 2024, the foundation is set, all of these pieces are ready to go. Like what's going to happen in 2025? Like
Yeah.
it just fueled so much excitement and we're only in February and 2025 has already been incredible. We're sitting at right at $2,000 in sales. Quarter one last year, I think I had $100 in sales.
Wow, look at that. Like that percentage change is huge. That's
Huge.
incredible. So good.
Yeah. So that has been incredible. I've been accepted to FAIR, which was so exciting. I really expected to be waitlisted, was not waitlisted, excuse me, was immediately accepted. So that's exciting. And I have a couple leads for some boutique owners that are interested in purchasing. So many exciting things.
Good. And your Instagram is growing. You were just telling me you're at 720 now compared to like
Yes.
400. That's
Yes.
huge.
That's huge.
So
Like
good.
that is huge. So just so exciting to see all of the momentum continue into the new year. Quarter one is usually, really slow and which is fine, but our quarter one, like I can't we're still in February and we're sitting at 2000 in sales. So truly incredible. And just the growth of Instagram just this year, we've put in almost 300 followers, which is crazy.
That's awesome. That's almost doubling. Pretty
Yeah.
dang close. That's
Almost
incredible.
doubling. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
looking back at it and it's really close.
Yeah. Doubling in 2 months.
Yeah,
So let's see what the rest of the year brings. This
I
is going to
know.
be
I'm
an awesome year, and I'm
so
just so
excited.
excited. Yeah, it's going to be incredible. Okay, let me ask you one final question before we ask where people can find you and find
Okay.
out more about your products. What would you tell someone who's on the fence about joining PBA?
Join. You have to join because when you take the time to join PBA and you have an investment, it lit a fire under me. Like a free class or a free mastermind, like I had tried those and I'm just like, this is, this is a waste. And so when you have an actual investment, for me personally, it just made me like take it seriously. Like, this is real. This is like actual content that is going to propel me and put me to where I want to be. So, it has been nothing but a credible experience. So, if you're on the fence, I just would say join because you are amazing. You are literally the best coach. Like, I
Oh.
get so excited for all of our calls. I'm like, I get to talk to Monica today. Like, I love it. It's so fun. It's so exciting. It's challenging. Like, I love a good challenge. Like, my brain just needs lots of information. So, for me, it's just been incredible to have it all in one place. I'm
Mhm.
busy. I have a lot going on, but it's all right there. It's super organized. Being a teacher, I love the easy to follow modules. And so if you're on the fence, you have to do it because you're getting the most incredible coach and
Oh.
the community. Like, I say it to people all the time, like our community is just incredible. Just like-minded business owners. It's mostly women. There's a few brave men that show up, but it's mostly women and just being able to encourage each other and be there for each other on social media, liking our post or replying to stories or just so much community in all of that and your support. Like, it is truly, truly incredible. So don't think about it. Just join. You just got to do it.
Just got to do it. It's that
Just do it.
simple.
You just
Just
got
do
to
it.
do it.
I love
You
it.
won't regret it because if you take it seriously, growth will happen.
Hmm.
You have to take it seriously. You have to put in the time. Like, it's not gonna, you're not gonna grow just joining. You have to put forth the effort and be willing to know like it's gonna be challenging. It's gonna be really uncomfortable, but the more we push ourselves, the more we grow and then we have success. So all of it together is like the perfect package.
And your growth, how much amazing work you've done, how you've grown personally, professionally, with your business, outside of business, is just a small, I mean, I think PBA is a small part of that because obviously you're doing the work, you're putting in the time, you're putting yourself out of your comfort zone, but I'm just so grateful to be part of your journey and to see you just open up and flourish. So it's been so awesome.
Well, your support, like it would be really, really hard to do it without your support.
Oh,
So.
you're so sweet. You're so kind. Well, Whitney, let's share with the person listening where they can find you. What's your Instagram? What's your website? Where can they learn
Okay.
more?
Instagram is Cleanse Pure and Simple, and our website is cleansepureandsimple.com.
Awesome. So check out her incredible soaps, incredible body butter. We got bath tea, we got face masks, we got body oil, all the good things. Like
Yeah.
you guys got to trust Whitney. Her stuff is incredible. Give her a follow. Let her know if this episode was helpful, if you related to what she said, if it was motivating. Let her know that you got something good out of it. So thank you, Whitney, for being here. So
Thank you,
grateful
Monica,
for you.
so much. So thankful for you.
Yes, thank you, thank you. And thank you for listening to this episode of the Product Biz Podcast.